Welcome back to Profit Path, where we ensure we empower you to take control of your finances one step at a time. I'm your host, the Wealth Whisperer, and today we are talking about something that is often overlooked but absolutely essential for financial stability: building an emergency fund. We'll discuss what an emergency fund is, why it's so important, and how much you should aim to have. Also, we will give you practical tips for getting started. If you've ever faced an unexpected expense or financial setback, you know how crucial it is to have a safety net. Now, why does an emergency fund matter? An emergency fund can mean the difference between a minor inconvenience and a financial disaster. It's your first line of defense against life's uncertainties. And today, we explore why you should make building one a top priority. So, what is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a stash of money set aside to cover unexpected expenses or financial emergencies. Think of it as your financial cushion, there to protect you when life throws curveballs your way. Types of emergencies covered. Typical emergencies might include unexpected medical bills, car repairs, job loss, or urgent home repairs. The goal to have funds steadily available so that you don't have to rely on credit cards or loans, which can lead to debt. Liquid and accessible. It's important that your emergency fund is liquid and easily accessible. This means it should be kept in a savings account or money market account where you can access it quickly without penalties or delays. Now, why is building an emergency fund crucial? 1. Financial security and peace of mind. The most significant benefit of an emergency fund is the peace of mind it provides. Knowing you have a financial buffer in place can reduce stress and allow you to focus on long-term goals without the fear of unexpected setbacks derailing your plan. Another one is avoiding debt. Without an emergency fund, a sudden expense could force you to turn to credit cards or loans. This not only adds to your financial burden, but also means paying interest, which can make a bad situation worse. The third one is maintaining financial goals. An emergency fund ensures you don't have to dip into your savings, investments, or retirement accounts when unexpected expenses arise. This allows you to stay on track with your financial goals, such as buying a home, saving for retirement, or paying off a debt. Job security and economic downturns. In today's uncertain economy, job security isn't guaranteed. An emergency fund provides a safety net in case of job loss, giving you the time to find new employment without the immediate pressure of covering your expenses. Now, how much should you save? Now, the general guidelines, a common rule of thumb is to save to 6 months worth of living expenses. This amount should cover essential costs like rent or mortgage payments, utilities, groceries, and insurance. Factors to consider: the exact amount you need depends on various factors, including your job stability, income level, and family situation. If you're single with a stable job, 3 months worth of expenses might be sufficient. But if you have dependents or work in a volatile industries, 6 months or more might be necessary. Another thing, start small. If saving 3 to 6 months of expenses feels overwhelming, start small. Aim to save like $1,000 as a beginner emergency funds. Once you reach that milestone, continue building towards your larger goal. Using savings calculator. To determine how much you need to save, consider an online savings calculator. Input your monthly expenses and savings goals, to get a clear picture of what your emergency fund should look like. It will really help you. Now, tips for building your emergency fund. 1. Automate your savings. One of the best ways to build your emergency fund is by automating your savings. I have said this in both of the 2 previous episodes. Because I'm stressing this point because when your savings are automated, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about what you could have done with it. The moment you receive it, it is gone to your savings where you can access it. Where you can access is a second time. Come on. Okay, where you can access is okay, something is definitely wrong. Where you can access it later. How hard can it be to say access it? Okay, let's get back. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account every payday. This ensures you're consistently contributing to your fund without having to think about it. Another thing is cutting expenses. Look for areas in your budget where you can cut back and redirect those savings to your emergency fund. This might include dining out less, canceling unused subscriptions, or finding more affordable alternatives for everyday expenses. Another one is side hustle and extra income. Consider taking on a side hustle or finding ways to earn extra income with all earnings going directly to your emergency fund. This can help you reach your savings goal faster. Windfalls and bonuses. If you receive a tax refund, work bonus, or other financial windfall, consider putting a significant portion into your emergency fund. Those one-time infusions can make a big difference. Lastly, prioritizing your emergency fund. While it's important to balance saving for an emergency fund with other financial goals, prioritize building your funds first. Once you have a solid emergency fund, you can focus more on paying down debt, investing, or saving for other goals. This way, you are sure that while you're doing all these other things, in case of anything that comes along the way, you have a safety net that will keep you from spiraling financially. Now, maintaining and using your emergency fund. When do you use your emergency fund? How do you replenish it? Well, how regular do you do reviews, and adjustments? Now, when to use your emergency fund? Only dip into your emergencies for true emergencies. Those unexpected necessary expenses that you can't cover with your regular income. Avoid using it for non-essentials or planned expenses. Okay? Make sure it's an emergency. So sometimes someone just says, I'm having a beef emergency. That's not an emergency. It could be an emergency. But whatever you do, ensure you use your emergency fund in case of a true emergency. Another one is replenishing your fund. If you do need to use your emergency fund, make sure replenishing it is a top priority. Resume automatic savings or adjust your budget temporarily to rebuild your safety net as quickly as possible. Regular reviews and adjustments. As your financial situation changes, regularly review your emergency fund, and if your expenses increase or you experience a major life change, you may need to adjust the amount you're saving. Okay? I encourage you to start building your emergency fund today, even if it's just a small amount. The key is consistency and making it a priority in your financial plan. Okay? Thank you for tuning in to Profit Path. If you found this episode helpful, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit from building their own emergency fund. Until next time, keep planning, keep saving, and take control of your financial future.